Hi guys, welcome to this evening's yin class. I thought with it being quite sunny and quite light, we'd go to do a yin that's going to be a little bit more energetic than we would normally do. So still keeping with that yin feeling, still keeping with this really nice feeling of stillness and trying to find some relaxation still in the body, but maybe just bringing a bit more energy into our yin as we're a little bit earlier in the evening, so maybe not quite into that sleepy feeling that we get when we do yin and we're later in the evening with the sun still shining and stuff. It can feel quite awake still in the body, so finding that nice little middle ground between both relaxation and stillness, and still keeping with this nice bit of fire and energy that we find ourselves in. If you haven't already, you can come to get some cushions and blankets. If you have bolsters in the house, feel free to use bolsters. You don't need any props particularly for this practice, but if you have blocks and things nearby you want to use, then feel free to bring these props into your practice. And we're going to start today's class going to lie down flat all the way onto our mat. You're going to allow your body just to rest all the way down. So allow your legs to flop out to the sides, allow your arms to come wide alongside your body. And just start to take a moment just to close down your eyes. Allowing yourself a moment just to come inwards towards your body. Maybe noticing energetically how we're feeling. Noticing how everything is moving around your body. So depending on how your day has been, maybe you've been running around, still doing lots of work. Maybe you're starting to come into this more quiet period. Maybe taking a little pause now to stop to see what's actually there for you and available to you each day. So just noticing how your day has been and notice how this has affected your body. See if we can allow ourselves now for the next hour just to be fully present with our breath, with our body. Allow ourselves the space just to start to relax. Allowing the mind slowly to just let go of any thoughts we're holding on to. Allow yourself the freedom just to allow your mind to be soft. And as you're taking these deep breaths into your body, you start to notice how this breath moves. So noticing if the breath is shallow or if we have a full deep breath. Maybe noticing if you're holding on to the breath anywhere in the body, maybe through the chest, maybe through the lower belly, maybe through the throat or the nose. Just notice where you feel this breath, and any points where this breath might not feel as easy and as free as we'd like it to be. And try to just breathe your breath a little bit deeper into those areas, finding a little bit more space for your breath to move more freely. Allow your body just to let go. So if you feel you're holding tension anywhere in the body, maybe through the shoulders, maybe feeling tension through the hips, the chest, just allow these areas to slowly just start to sink a little bit deeper into your mat. So to notice that your body might feel super heavy. And allow both your shoulder blades just to let go and become super heavy. Allow your arms and both legs just to feel really grounded and rooting into your mat. And just taking some deep breaths. With our eyes closed, we close out other senses and allow other senses to become more apparent in our body. So we close up the eyes, maybe we start to notice physically we feel more. Allow all the muscles in your face just to gently relax. And notice how this breath can start to calm your mind. So allowing yourself just to let go with every exhale of breath. Really anchoring yourself here into your practice. And depending where you are in your house, maybe there's noises, you have other things happening in other rooms of your house, or maybe outside your windows. Just try to allow all of this noise just to slowly filter in and out. Allow yourself to just keep coming back to your breath. Long, slow and deep breaths. And then come to take a really big inhale through your nose. And exhale out your mouth. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out your mouth. Take one more deep breath like this. Inhale deeply through the nose. Fill up all of your lungs. And then allow the breath just to completely leave the body. And just take a few more breaths here in your normal rhythm. Allowing yourselves to become fully present and aware. Last few breaths here. I invite you throughout this practice, where possible, to try to have the eyes closed as much as possible. If this feels uncomfortable for you though, feel free to have your eyes open or your gaze just soft. And come when you're ready, just to draw the knees in towards the chest, hug them in. And start to draw the knees really tightly in towards your chest, so you start to feel a nice little stretch through your hips. And just take a little rock and roll side to side, just very slowly and gently. Notice how slow you can move the body. And you start to feel every single point of contact with the spine and the mat. Notice how your spine is moving as you move. Again, drawing full awareness into our body. And then coming back to still. And to inhale and lift your legs all the way up into the air. We're going to come to bring our hands underneath the sacrum at the lower of the spine. And draw your chin towards your chest. And slowly start to lower the legs all the way down towards the mat. And taking it as slow as you can, engaging the core. And allow your feet just to hover about an inch off your mat. And on an exhale, draw the body all the way up to seated. And coming to bring ourselves into a tabletop position. And then come to tuck the toes. We're going to come to send our weight back onto the heels. Start to bring yourself all the way up. So coming into a toe stretch. And this is really energizing for our body. So this is a nice yin pose, but also something that's quite nice to do in the morning when we wake up maybe. We have a lot of meridians running through the feet. So we start to wake up all these meridians as we start to bring a little bit of pressure onto the toes, allowing a little bit of fire through the body. We're going to come to involve the arms. Come to bring both arms out in front. We're going to come to take our right arm underneath the left. And we're going to come to try to bring the palms together if we can. So coming through eagle arms. If we can't bring the palms together, we can come to bring the back of the hands together instead. Or if we have shoulder issues, you can come to bring both arms just around the shoulders. And once you've come to your eagle arms, come to allow the arms to come up towards the ceiling. So we start to open up through the shoulders. Again, you can close down your eyes if it's available. Just start to allow your arms to come up as far as feels good. So you can feel this nice stretch through the shoulders. Drawing awareness back towards your breath. And then exhale, just allow the arms to come all the way back down. And we're going to come to switch the arms, this time taking the left arm underneath the right. Again, coming to take a hold of the palms if we can. And allow the arms to come up towards the ceiling, opening through the other shoulder now. You'll probably start to feel some nice heat being generated through the toes now. Again, using your breath. Last few breaths. And then exhale, release. Come to bring the hands down onto the mat. Just come to tap out the toes. So bringing a little bit of blood flow back to the feet. And then coming to bring the back of the feet, so the top of the feet, sorry, onto the mat. We're going to come to bring our body weight back and come again to sit back onto the heels. This time we're going to come to lift the knees. So you can come to bring the hands behind if you wish, or maybe you come to bring the hands onto the knees to support wherever you feel is best. Just allowing this nice stretch through the front of the ankle. Find whichever variation works best for you. Again, if you want to, you can close down the eyes. Take a few deep breaths here. Notice how this feels in your body. So notice how all of the foot is feeling. A few more breaths here. Beautiful. Gently come out of this. Again, bring your hands forward back into tabletop. Just take a little tap of the feet. And then coming into our tabletop position, bringing the knees about hip distance apart. You're going to come to bring the shoulders over the wrists. You can take a nice, again, another shoulder stretch here. Come to inhale, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to come to thread that right arm underneath the left. Coming to bring the right ear down to the mat. We're going to extend the left arm long. So starting to bring some weight onto this right shoulder. If you want to go a little bit further, you can come to extend your left leg out to the side. Start to notice if we take the leg out, it starts to become a little bit of a balance for us. So be wary here of if you need to take the foot out or bring it back in. I'll come to sit so we can see. Allow this left arm to come out as stretched as we can. You can always come down to the forearm if that feels better. Again, find what works in your body. I would always invite you to find the position that feels right for you. Once you've found the position that feels right, just allow yourself to come to rest here in this pose. Come to close down your eyes if it's available. And drawing full awareness back towards your breath. Notice how it feels to have the spine completely folding forwards. Notice the weight coming into this right shoulder. And allow your full awareness just to be on your breath. Or maybe if we find it difficult to concentrate on the breath, to draw your awareness to a physical sensation you feel within the body. Maybe noticing the rise and fall of your belly as you breathe. The mind is very active. That's okay. Just allow your thoughts just to gently just work their way around your mind. And just thoughts. We have very busy minds. Sometimes it's better not to try to push it all away. Sometimes it's better just to allow it to be seen. And slowly, over time, these thoughts will just slowly start to disappear. And you can bring your awareness easily back to your breath. In this moment that we find ourselves in at the moment, it's very stressful. We can sometimes have a lot more anxiety than maybe we would have in our normal lives. So being gentle with ourselves, realizing that this may be a possibility for us at the moment. Just be very gentle with yourself. We have 1 more minute here in this pose. Allow yourself just to let go. few breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready, come to slowly bring that left hand back in. Come to bring the right arm all the way up into the sky. And then exhale, placing it back down, coming back into tabletop. Maybe you want to take a little wiggle side to side with the hips. The spine is feeling tender. You can start to just roll through your spine. And then we're going to come to take the same on the opposite side. Come to inhale, extend the left arm up towards the sky. And exhale, threading it underneath the right, coming to bring the right ear down, and the left ear down to the mat. Extend the right arm long. Again, staying here, or if we want to go further, we can come to extend that right leg out towards the side. So coming to roll over more onto that left shoulder. You don't have to take this variation. If it feels too much, just bring the knee in. Allow yourself to come back into this tabletop version, allowing that right arm to come long. Again, once you've found your position, come back to the breath. Long, slow, deep inhales. And long, slow, deep exhales. Just drawing full awareness towards the breath. Notice if you feel any difference from side to side. Maybe this side feels different. Maybe we take a different approach to this side. See if you can still allow that beautiful softening through the whole of the spine. And you're halfway through this side. Just allow yourself to fully surrender here. Enjoying these moments of stillness and silence. Just allow that silence to wash over you. If you have music playing at the moment, just enjoy the music you've chose to play through this session. Wherever you are, just drawing again full awareness towards your breath. Coming into the last final minute here in this pose. Last few breaths here. Beautiful. If you took that right foot out, come to bring the right foot in first. Bring that right hand just next to the head. We're going to come to push through the right hand, extend the left arm all the way up into the sky. And exhale, placing it back down, come back into your tabletop. And again, just take a little bit of movement through the hips, maybe through the spine. And then coming to bring your knees as wide as your mat. We're going to come to allow our body weight just to come in between the knees, start to extend the arms long, coming into a nice wide leg child's pose, bringing the toes to touch if we can. If we find it uncomfortable to be in child's pose, if we don't come back to the feet and we find it uncomfortable, you can come to use a cushion in between the knees and the feet and come to sit back onto your cushion. Similarly, you can take a blanket, a rolled up blanket, and come to place that in between the knees instead. If we have problems with the knees, you again can bring a blanket underneath the knees to come to support the knees. Whatever we've chose to do this pose, just allow your whole body just to melt forwards. Allow your arms to be outstretched. So again, still working through the shoulders. If you have quite sensitive shoulders, just be aware of where your arms are, maybe not stretching them out quite as far. You can come to bring them a little bit further down. If the head doesn't reach the mat and feels uncomfortable, again, you can bring a pillow underneath the head if that feels nicer to come to rest your head onto. This is your practice, so always just take what is necessary for you to really enjoy this pose. A place where you feel you can stay in the pose and come into stillness. You may find when we come into yin poses that we take a while to work out what feels good for us. So sometimes, even when we've been doing this a long time, we'll come into our practice some days and things just won't feel the same as they did the last time we did them. So I invite you through every practice just to inquire what it is that's happening for you in your body, what it is that maybe you need to take today to feel the most benefit through each pose that you take. Again, allowing the eyes to close if we can. Allow your breath to be soft. As you breathe these deep breaths in, notice if you can feel the breath, almost like it's filling up the back of your ribs, the whole of the back of your body. Finding a little bit more space through the back body. Maybe we start to feel sensations through the feet, through the toes, through the knees. Just be aware of these sensations. The more we can feel and acknowledge these sensations, the more we start to draw the mind out of the thought world and into the physical sensations we feel in our body, into this present moment that we find ourselves in. And this is a practice. And the more we practice, the more comfortable we become with this. And some days, with all the will in the world, we may not get to where we want to be. Even myself, I still have days where I struggle to find that stillness. That's okay. Just being aware of your practice and how it is for you each time you come to your mat. Trying not to judge anything that's arising for you. Just accept that this is where we are today. This is how it is for us this evening. We have one more minute here. Allow yourself just to fully let go. Whatever that means, whether it be physical, emotional, mentally. See if you can find even 5% more relaxed. And even if we only manage to find that we notice the breath once in the whole practice, this is the start. Coming into your last few breaths here in this pose. Beautiful. When you're ready, you can just slowly just move out of your child's pose and come to just allow yourself to lie down flat all the way onto your belly. And to bring your hands underneath the head, starting to take a nice little pillow here with the hands. Allow your cheek to turn to whichever side feels best. You'll find that maybe you have one favoured side, depending how flexible we are in the neck. You may choose to have it one way or the other. Just take a moment to rest here. Coming into this nice rebound pose, just allowing some blood flow back to the feet, to the hips, to the knees. Take a moment just to notice any sensations you feel in your body. So maybe you feel warmth through certain parts of the body, maybe some warmth through the feet, maybe warmth through the hips, maybe through our shoulders or our neck. Maybe the sensations you feel like a liquidy sensation almost. Feeling like we've created a bit more space in the body. Last few breaths here. Beautiful. From here, again, we're going to take another shoulder stretch here and also a slight back bend. We're going to come into Sphinx pose. So come to allow your arms to come out in front. Your elbows are just a little bit more forwards than the shoulders. And the chest is open. We're allowing our hearts to move forwards, allowing the head to be upright. And start to just gently feel into this movement in your body. If it feels too intense, you can take the arms a little bit further forwards. This can sometimes ease slightly. If it feels too much at any point, feel free to come down onto the arms. If you have a bolster or any full cushion, you can take a variation here with the bolster, bringing the bolster in front, allowing the arms to rest over. This is a softer version to do this pose if we feel we have any issues with the shoulders. For everybody else, just allowing yourself just to rest here in this pose. Allow your heart to be open. Again, noticing the breath. Notice the rise and fall of your belly here as the belly starts to push into the mat as we breathe. Again, if this pose is starting to feel too much, you can always take the feet a little bit wider out. And this can help through the lower spine if we're feeling tension here. You can go further by also lifting up the legs if this feels like you want to go further here in this pose. And as we come to the final minute here, you can stay here in Sphinx, or again, if you want to go a little bit further, you can start to come into Seal, bringing the hands to the corners of the mat and start to push up, so straightening the arms, allowing this deeper stretch through the front of the body, allowing a deeper back bend here. If at any point this is too much, you can always come back down to Sphinx whenever you like. But staying here if we can for just a little under a minute. Again, drawing awareness towards your body, towards your breath. Long, slow, deep breaths. Almost there, last few breaths. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly come to allow yourself to come all the way back down onto your mat. Bringing the hands again underneath the head. Take a little wiggle side to side with the hips. And then allowing yourself just to rest down completely. Take a moment to rebound here. Again, just drawing some gentle awareness towards your breath and towards the body. Notice any different sensations you feel now, maybe through the lower spine, maybe through the shoulders. Notice any subtle differences we feel. And then when you're ready to, we're going to come to inhale, bring ourselves all the way back up into tabletop position. And take a moment just to wiggle through your hips, moving side to side if you need to. And then from here we're going to come to step forward with the right foot. Come to bring that right foot forward, so keeping this back knee bent. So we're coming into like a dragon or low lunge type position. You can allow this left leg to come a little bit further down. We're going to come to inhale, come to bring the hands up onto the knee if we can. If this feels too much, then you can come to bring the hands down, just coming to hold them in front of the foot. If you have blocks here, you can come to bring blocks either side of the foot, allowing yourself to just rest down onto these blocks again if that feels best for you. Have a little play and see around which position feels nicer for you. This is quite a deep stretch through the front of the hips. So just be wary of how far we come into this right hip if we're coming up into high dragon here. If anybody's feeling like it's too much pressure on their knees, again, come to bring a blanket onto your mat, come to allow that left knee to fold onto a blanket instead. We're going to take this on both sides, so if you do have a blanket and you have issues with your knees, you can leave it here on the mat. This can sometimes just soften the impact through that left knee. And there's variations we can do here. We can stay here in high dragon. If we want to go a little bit further, we can come to involve the back foot. So maybe we come to lift up that left foot and start to draw it in towards the bum. Still holding this nice position here through the front leg. Maybe we come to take a hold with the right hand and start to send a little bit of a twist into our spine, looking over the right shoulder, bringing this left hand still back onto that knee and trying to draw that left foot in towards the bum. Or just staying here with the hands down. Choose, again, have a little play, find what feels best for you. You're halfway through this pose. Once you've found a place that feels right for you, just allow yourself to come into some stillness. It's a little bit difficult here to close the eyes maybe, as we're starting to have to hold and balance the body. So if we have the eyes open, just finding a soft gaze. So find a soft point of focus in front of your mat. And you can just gently allow the eyes to fall onto. As we keep this soft gaze, we're keeping this nice calm feeling through the body, allowing ourselves to still focus our awareness to the breath. And we're coming into the final minute here, trying to make a choice here where we want to be and seeing if we can come into absolute stillness. So being that inner teacher and having a listen to what's actually going on for us. Where do we want to be? Do we want to come down into something a little bit easier, to be able to just come into this absolute stillness? If we're in the more advanced pose, can we hold that advanced version for the next minute? So being aware of where we need to be. Coming up to the last 30 seconds here. Last few breaths. Beautiful. When you're ready, just coming to bring the hands down, come to just step that right knee back. Take a little movement. Maybe you come to take a few cat-cows here. Just gently moving through the spine. Just loosening everything out. If the hips are feeling a little bit tender, just allow them to just move from side to side. then when you're ready, we're going to come to take the same on the opposite side. So come to step forward with the left foot. Again, you can come to allow this back knee to come back a little bit if you want to, allowing a deeper stretch here through the hips. Come to bring the hands up onto that left knee if we can. You can have the back toes tucked or untucked, whichever feels best for you. Again, if you're taking variations here with blocks, feel free to come to bring your blocks and take that variation on this side. And then again, just finding the breath. Long, slow, deep breaths. Notice if this side is different to the side. So maybe this side, the hip, is completely different. So what worked on one side might not work on the other side. Maybe we take a different approach to this second side. Again, keeping the gaze soft. Notice here when we start to take these more energizing postures, notice if the yang and the way that we practice our yang practice is coming into the mind and we're starting to strive or push or be very yang in our approach to this yin. See if we can bring ourselves back into this more softer state. Can we find stillness and accept where we are, coming into whatever position we can find this stillness in. And coming in almost towards the last minute here. So again, choosing again, listen to that inner teacher inside. Where do I need to be able to come into complete stillness here? Maybe the hands come down. Maybe we feel we can stay with just the hands on the knee. And again, if we took this variation of the back foot, can we hold this here for the last minute of this pose, but allowing ourselves to be in complete stillness wherever we decide to be. One more minute here. Allow yourself just to fully drop into that stillness. Use your breath. Breath is such an important tool. It allows us that freedom. If we feel we're struggling through anything that we're doing in our yoga practice, the breath is carrying you through everything that you do. To use this breath, be aware of this breath. Last 30 seconds here. Almost there. Beautiful. When you're ready, again, come to place the hands down. Just step that left knee back. Come back into your tabletop. And again, take a little wiggle, a little bit of a movement. Maybe take the cat-cows again, just to move through the spine. Beautiful. When you feel ready to, just come to bring your weight all the way back onto your heels and to remove any props that we might have used. We're going to come to swizzle the legs around and come back into our rebound pose. So coming back into this Shavasana style pose, allowing the legs to be long and the arms to be as wide as we can. Allow the shoulder blades to just come back and down the body. Allow them to be flat to your mat. And again, just taking a few breaths, noticing how the breath has changed. Allowing the eyes to be closed if we can. Draw awareness back into your body. And again, noticing any subtle changes we feel in the body. Maybe this is heat sensations that we feel, maybe tingling sensations through the hips. Maybe some difference through the thighs or the glutes. Just being aware of how the posture has changed the body. Just deep breathing into the belly. Allow that breath to move up through the chest and out of the nose or the mouth. Just gentle, deep breaths. Again, if the mind has been wandering, just draw your awareness back. Allow your mind to become a little bit more still. Enjoy this beautiful feeling of feeling supported here by the earth. For the last few breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready, come to draw your knees in towards the chest again. Just take a nice little rock and roll super slowly. Just notice every movement on the spine as we roll from side to side. And then coming back to center, draw the legs all the way up into the air. Come to bring the hands underneath the sacrum at the lower of your spine. Drawing your chin toward the chest. And slowly start to lower the legs all the way down towards the mat. Again, hovering the feet about an inch off the mat. And exhale, draw the body all the way up to seated. We're going to come to bring our legs quite wide, coming into dragonfly pose. This can feel like quite an intense pose for a lot of people. You're going to have a deep, deep stretch of the inside seams of the legs. You can come to bring a cushion underneath the bum or a block if you have one. Sometimes raising the body up can be quite nice just to give yourself a little bit more height to fold forwards. You can also, if you need to, come to bring cushions or things underneath the knees. If you have blocks, bringing 2 blocks underneath the knees can be quite nice to lift up the body before we start to fold forwards. So again, have a little play with adjustments. If you have props around you, if you feel you need props, what we're going to come to do is just allow our bodies just to come to start to fold forwards. So depending how tight we are in our hips will depend how far we fold. Some people's hips are shaped in such a way that this pose will be very difficult to ever come all the way down to the floor for you. My hips are inwards or outwards depending on the shape of your hips will determine how far we can actually fold this way. So try not to judge wherever you get to. This is just your body and the shape of your body. Allow yourself to be kind and gentle with yourself. For some people we may just be here, and if that's the case we can come to just allow our heads to be soft. Allow the shoulders to be soft. You should still be feeling a nice stretch here. For men sometimes this can be quite a difficult pose if they're quite tight through the hamstrings or very tight around the hips. Wherever we get to, just allow yourself to completely surrender here into this pose. Allow your neck and your head and your shoulders just to be heavy and relaxed. And the feet don't have to be completely upright. You can allow the feet to flop out to the sides if that feels nicer. Take whatever variation is feeling good for you in your body. And this is quite an intense stretch, so trying not to push too hard here. Try to find the place, the thing we call our edge in yin, this place so we can feel the stretch in the body, and not so far that we're causing any pain or injury to the body. Find this nice place where we feel the resistance, and then trying to come back a little bit from that place Find that nice sweet spot in between where we can just allow the body to let go. If our bodies are experiencing pain or discomfort, it's very hard for the mind to let go. The mind will try to find a way to back out of the pose, find a more comfortable position to be in. Try to find that nice middle ground between both those places. You have a little under 1 more minute here. Just allow yourself to fully surrender. Coming back to your breath. Long, slow, deep breaths. Last few breaths here, almost there. Beautiful. When you're ready, come to draw the body all the way back up into center. Use the hands to come to bring the legs in. Allow your legs just to be long. Give them a little wiggle side to side. Just allow a bit of movement into your feet, into your legs. And then we're going to come to take a nice movement, a counter movement through the hips, coming to bring the soles of the feet together. And you can allow the feet to be a little bit further out rather than having them very close in towards the groin. Just allow yourself this really nice large diamond shape here. Allows us more space for the body to fold into this space. You're going to come to gently allow the head to come down towards the feet. Again, if this pose is difficult for you, you can come to sit onto a cushion. Maybe you come to bring cushions on top of the feet. If you're lucky enough to have sandbags or bags of lentils or whatever you have available, this can be quite nice to do with a heavy weight on the feet, even if we can fold all the way forwards. But if you're finding it's very tight through the hips, come to make yourself a little bit of a cushion space here for you to allow the head to fall into. And allow yourself just to surrender inwards. So allow the shoulders, the neck, the head, everything to just fold inwards. Taking a moment to look in towards ourselves. And keeping this nice, strong, gentle breath. Long, slow, deep breaths in. And long, slow, deep breaths out. And just notice if, again, we're holding tension anywhere in our body. So maybe we're clenching the jaw. Just allow your jaw to be soft. Allow your tongue to just sit really comfortably in your mouth. See if you can allow every muscle in your face just to let go. Maybe we're holding tension through the shoulders. Just allow the shoulders to be softer. Allow the spine to fully round. Allow your belly to be soft. Again, drawing awareness to the rise and fall of your belly as you breathe in and out. Halfway through this pose, see if you can allow yourself to let go just 5% more. Notice on your exhale of breath, can we just allow that release? Whatever it is we're holding, emotional, physical, just allow it to be released. Every time you breathe out, sinking just a little bit deeper. Relaxing just a little bit more. You're coming into the final minute here. See if we can allow ourselves to come into complete stillness here. Resisting the urge to fidget or move. Can we allow the body just to be still? Notice what happens when we come into complete stillness. Notice what happens within the mind. Just be aware of it, not judging it. Just be aware of where your mind goes to. Or similarly where it doesn't go to. Is there something else that opens up for us just being in the stillness? Coming into your final few breaths here in this pose. When you're ready, very gently, just come to allow your body to come all the way back up into center. Come to use the hands to bring the knees together, removing any props you may have used. Come to swizzle yourself around, me around. You're going to come to, again, lie down flat all the way onto our mat. Coming back into this rebound pose. You can allow the arms to be outstretched, or maybe you come to bring one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Take a moment just to tune back into your breath. If the eyes have been closed, keeping them closed. Just take a few deep breaths here. And hopefully our bodies are now starting to come into a little bit of a softer, slower rhythm. The first few postures quite energizing for the body. These final few postures just slowly starting to take ourselves inwards, bringing the heart rate down, allowing the body to just come into this place of safety, this place of rest. Last few breaths here. And then from here, we're going to come to draw the knees in towards the chest and hug them in. You can take a little rock and roll if that feels nice. And then we're going to come to take some twists. You have options here. You can come to bring the legs up into the air, taking the right leg over the top of the left and crossing the legs over. You can come to bind the feet if it's available. Allow your arms to be wide and just allow them knees to fall to the right hand side. You can use the right hand to hold on to the knees. Maybe you come to bring a cushion underneath the knees if they don't quite meet the ground and that feels more comfortable. Allow both your shoulders to still be touching the mat. Your left arm is outstretched. You can allow your gaze to come over to that left hand. If this feels too much to take this bind, you can just bring both knees in and just allow them to gently fall to the right hand side. Again, using the right hand if you want to hold on to those knees. Your gaze and your head can either stay central, or if it feels comfortable, start to allow your gaze and your head to go towards the left. So we allow this full spinal twist here. And again, close your eyes if it's available to you. Allow your breath to travel into the body, maybe finding a little bit of extra space all the way through the side of the left ribs. Maybe we feel this through the left glutes. Notice if you could send your breath into those areas. Do you feel like you could create a little bit more space? Allow the body just to let go a little bit more. What would that feel like to just let go? To just accept where you are right now in this moment and be okay with it. Just breathing, just letting go. Nothing else you need to do in this very moment. Just find ourselves here in this pose, just allowing our bodies to breathe and being aware of that breath. few breaths here. Beautiful. Very gently. Come to draw your knees all the way back into center. If we took the bind, just come to unbind the legs and draw the knees in. So to take a little bit of movement side to side. So to push that lower spine into the mat, maybe taking little circles if you need to. Just gently give the lower spine a little massage before we come to take the same on the opposite side. If we took the bind on the right side, feel free to come to take the same, taking the left leg over the right, binding the legs, allowing the arms to be wide, gently allowing the knees to fall to the left hand side this time. Maybe this side is different. If it is and you want to take a different variation again, just bring both knees together and allow them to gently fall to the left hand side. You can use the left hand again to hold onto the knees. Maybe we're bringing cushions or props underneath the knees. If we've taken just this knees together version, you can also bring a cushion in between the knees before you start to allow them to fall. Again, turning the head towards the right if it's available. Closing down the eyes. Allow both shoulders again still to be touching the mat. And as we breathe in this time, notice how we expand all the right side of the body. So allowing the breath all the way through the right rib cage. Finding some space here. Maybe we feel the breath is coming in through the back of the body, maybe through the spine. Maybe we feel it more through the front of the body, around the belly area, through the fossa, the front of the body. Notice the rise and fall of your belly here in this twist, and how the breath may be different here. Allow your body just to surrender. Notice this calming breath. You can start to allow your breath here just to come back to a normal rhythm for you. Can you find that really natural breath? Imagine that breath that we have when we're by the ocean. We're in a beautiful place in nature. We can feel this really nice full breath. One that makes us feel super calm and chilled. So we can emulate that breath here. Imagine you're by the sea, breeze coming at you, taking those full, rich, deep breaths, fresh air into the body. We have one more minute here. Beautiful, very gently. And to draw your knees in back into center again, across the legs if they were bind. And to draw your knees in and take one final little rock and roll side to side. And then when you feel ready, come to just allow your legs to come all the way long down your mat, coming into your final pose, your final resting pose here in your Shavasana. Allowing your arms to just drop wherever feels comfortable. Feet to just flop out to the sides, the whole spine just to slowly let go. Allow your eyes to close. Allow your breath to come back to this really natural breath. Gentle, soft breath. whole body just to feel super heavy and relaxed. The back of the legs just letting go. The ankles and the wrists just relax. Notice the whole of your spine supported by the earth. Imagine the back of your hips and your whole of your spine are rooting down into the earth. Almost as if the earth comes up and you come down and you start to meet each other in this beautiful held space. Notice the back of your head is supported. Allow your neck to just let go. Allow your forehead and every muscle in your face just to relax. No tension through the face, just allow everything to be soft. Notice your heart space. Notice your chest, your ribs. Allow all of this area to feel full of warmth. Feel this beautiful softness through your heart space. Almost as if it feels that you could be radiating heat from this area, allowing all of that beautiful energy to just be passed around your body, from the tip of your head to the very, very tips of your fingers and toes. Allow your belly to be soft. Allow yourself to just let go. I invite you to stay here in this silence as long as you need to. If you don't have to rush to be anywhere, I invite you to just stay here. Your body will tell you when it wants to move. Listen to your body. Allow yourself to stay here for a few moments. Enjoy the stillness. If the mind begins to wander, just draw your awareness to your breath. Know that everything is safe. Everything is okay. I invite you to stay here, and I will end the session with you. When you feel ready at any point to come out of your Shavasana, just gently rolling onto your left hand side or onto the right, whichever feels most comfortable. And very, very gently allowing yourself to come up to seated, taking things really slowly. I wish you all a beautiful rest of your evening. Namaste, guys.